They came under the roof at Docklands with heads bowed, backs against the wall, and pressure screaming from every inch of the navy blue jumper. Carlton, once again, found itself dragged into the thick of turmoil. Another week of headlines, another wave of speculation, another set of questions around coach Michael Voss. But tonight, it wasn't about questions. It was about answers. This wasn't just a game against the reigning premiers. This was a fight for belief, for direction, for identity, for the soul of the club. And under the bright lights of the stadium, with the echoes of doubters still fresh, the Blues came out with a point to prove. The scoreboard hadn't lit up yet, but fire was flickering in the way they moved. In the urgency, in the desperation, Charlie Curnow, the spearhead so often relied upon, had his moment. The ball came into his hands, time seemed to slow. Fans leaned forward, cameras zoomed in, he steadied, he aimed, he struck, and he missed. A groan rippled through the crowd. Heads dropped again, but the ball wasn't done. It spilled back into chaos, pinballing through boots, before finding the sure hands of Patrick Cripps. Cripps, the warrior. Cripps, the heartbeat. He saw a sliver of daylight. He ran. He kicked on the fly. But the foot faltered, the kick curved, and once again, the goalpost stood untouched. 2 chances, 2 almosts, 2 cries swallowed before they could become roars. This, right here, is Carlton's season. Teetering on the brink, so close to glory, so far from it still. A heartbeat away from momentum. A whisper away from collapse. But don't count 'em out. Not yet, because this isn't a team that's quit. This isn't a coach who's walked away. This is a club still clawing, still breathing, still refusing to let the past write the present. They moved the ball with hunger. They tackled like it meant everything. And to them, it does. Every contest, every 50-50, every loose ball is a moment to redeem themselves. A moment to say, we are not broken. Not yet. The backline stood firm. The midfield surged. Even as the scoreboard hesitated, the intent did not. They hunted the premiers. They shadowed their moves. They refused to give up easy space. And in the coach's box, Michael Voss stood with the weight of a club on his shoulders. Every move dissected, every decision a gamble, but he stood. He didn't hide. He didn't flinch. Because this is what leadership looks like, not when the winds are calm, but when the storm rages hardest. And tonight, the Docklands Stadium felt like a storm. Inside and out. But through the static, you could hear it, the roar of fans who still believe. The chanting of names, the clapping of hands, the thud of feet stomping hope back into life. Yes, they missed chances. Yes, the premiers threatened. But the Blues didn't wilt. They didn't drift. They stayed in it, and that's how it begins. With grit, with fire, with 2 missed chances, yes, but also 2 statements, we're here. And we're not done. Every possession after that was a declaration. Every sprint a signpost that says, we fight. The defenders laid tackles that rattled ribs. The wingers dashed with courage. The forwards fought for every inch. This wasn't just a match. It was a stand. And as the seconds ticked on, the sense began to grow. Carlton, under the glare of scrutiny, was finding its spark again. They weren't flawless. They weren't polished. But they were honest. And sometimes, honesty is enough to turn the tide. The crowd felt it. The players felt it. Even the premiers looked unsettled. Because when a team plays like its future depends on it, it's dangerous. Curnow didn't drop his head. He led again, called for the ball. Cripps didn't hesitate. He went again, kicked again, ran again. This is not a club lying down. This is a club getting back up. And as the minutes rolled by, so did Carlton's belief. They began chaining possessions, winning clearances, holding shape. They began playing Carlton football. Not perfect, but powerful. And for fans who have ridden the roller coaster all season, for those who've waited, hoped, despaired, this was the moment they had been desperate for. Not the scoreboard, not the ladder position, but this heart. This refusal to let go. Every shout from the boundary echoed louder. Every smother, every shepherd, every bump was cheered like a goal. Because they meant something again. They stood toe-to-toe with the best in the league. And they didn't blink. They absorbed pressure, then returned it. They made mistakes, but they made them while daring to win, not fearing to lose. And in doing so, they reminded the football world of something that had started to be forgotten. Carlton is not gone. Carlton is not broken. Carlton is alive. And as long as there are tackles to be made, balls to be won, and goals to be kicked, this group, led by Michael Voss, will fight. The turmoil, it can wait. The noise, let it scream. Because inside those white lines, under the stadium roof, the Blues are building something. One contest at a time. One quarter at a time. One roar at a time. And tonight, in the heart of Docklands, they took their first real step. Not just toward victory, but toward redemption.